You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes! Let me tell you about Travel by Stats. Travel by Stats delivers premium travel packages and provide excellence by focusing on assuring that their tour itinerary is clear. For destinations they've never taken, they even take the trip in advance of the actual one you're about to take. This ensures everybody has a great experience. They've been around since 1988 and have been operating here in Atlanta since 2000, starting from the ground up, but they now boast of a team operating in 5 states. Travel by Stats not only specializes in Caribbean destinations, they also provide a variety of reasonable, cost-efficient events by land, air, or sea. One of their big things is sports travel for football fanatics who live in Metro Atlanta. That's the fun way to go anyway. Here's some of their upcoming list of events. Giants at Cowboys, Falcons at Giants, Falcons at Cowboys, Cowboys at Saints, Patriots at Cowboys, and many, many more. Contact them at 855-266-6675, extension 700, for the owner, Maritza Wilmer. Again, that's 855-266-6675, extension 700. If you mention my name, Doug Stewart, you'll receive an extra 10% off your package. Travel by Stats. Where they don't sell travel, they sell fun.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Doctor, this is the mayor talking.
All right.
Doctor,
Come on, what?
always do the right thing.
If you came here to hear for fake, you are in the wrong place. We are for real around here. We keeps it real. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. Are you not entertained? This is Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! It's officially game time. Yes, sir. It's official. It's game time, baby. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Throwback Thursday. Thank you so much for joining your boy. And, oh boy, a lot of great stuff we're going to get into today on the Doug Stewart Show. You see the title of the episode today. The NFL is back, Shawty, and we are celebrating around here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show. Throwback Thursday. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. A lot of great things we're going to talk about today. The main thing we're going to talk about, though, is the NFL is back tonight. The NFL is back tonight, and I, for one, cannot wait. I am so happy. You know, when this time of the year comes around, man, and you walk outside after taking your kids to school or whatever, like I do normally during the week, and you feel that little brisk in the air, you know, the fall is in the air kind of like or whatever, and you know that football season is right around the corner. Now, we've been playing high school football for a couple of weeks in these parts, in Georgia and South Carolina, the Southeast. We had college football last weekend, a bunch of cupcake games, though. Tonight, though, is the big boys. The big boys step on the field, man. The NFL is back! Yes! Yeah. All right, welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. If you're new to the show, thank you for tuning in. This is what we do Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. You're listening to your boy, Doug Stewart, one half of the world-famous Two Live Stew. Speaking of which, thank you, studio audience. We've got the greatest studio audience in the business. Speaking of which, the Stews are back. If you haven't heard, your boys are back Saturday mornings on 640 WGST, 11 a.m., right here in ATL as well as iHeartRadio, so tune in for that. But today, man, thank you so much for tuning in to the Doug Stewart Show. What we do around here is we have fun. We talk sports. We'll do birthdays coming up here in a couple of segments. Sometimes we do top fives. And even every once in a while, man, I'll even sing for you. I know. You get a lot for your buck around here. And actually, what we've been playing around with on the production side is we've been playing around with the idea of me actually doing a show where, you know, the entire show is based around me singing classics. And so we're really thinking about, shut up, studio audience. Shut up. So some people in the studio audience, they don't get it. But so we're thinking about putting together a show where I just sing the hits, and we'll call it Dougie Sings the Hits. So I'll tell you more about that down the road. All right, the number to the show, you can give us a call at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But the easy way, especially if you're new, to join in on the fun and be interactive is just to hit me up on the Spreaker chat on Spreaker.com. A lot of you are probably listening to the show on Spreaker.com. So follow the show on Spreaker, hit the little follow button, and then there's a chat bubble, like a little cartoon comic book chat talk bubble. Click on that. And then you're introduced to a whole new world. And I call the world the fantasy island of sports chat, and its inhabitants are the Stewies. The Stewies! What up, Stewies? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so there's a couple little stories out there that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. We'll talk about them. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is in the news. The Seattle Seahawks are in the news. And also, brothers getting beat up and molested, not literally, but figuratively by the police. A couple of stories surrounding that, so we'll talk about those as well. But what we're going to focus on today, once again, you see the title of the show, The NFL Is Back Shawty. We've been doing these preseason football team reports for like the last month and a half, and I tried to time it and set it up where, you know, when the NFL kicks off, we have gone through all the teams in the NFL. Or when college football kicked off, which was last Thursday, we have gone through all the teams in college football. We didn't get it correct, exactly correct. Today the NFL starts. Tonight, the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. How ironic is that? We got 4 teams left, all right? So we got 4 teams left in the NFL, and we got 4 teams left in college football. So what I decided to do, me and my crack staff, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, is I said, you know what? No better time than the present. So today, we're going to talk about the Denver Broncos, the Green Bay Packers, the New England Patriots, and the Seattle Seahawks, as well as highlight and mention and talk about briefly the Baylor Bears, the Alabama Crimson Tide, the TCU Horned Frogs, and the Ohio State Buckeyes. I know, busters. But we're talking football today all day long. So what I want to do, this is what I want to do, all right? So we're going to talk about those teams I just talked about, and that'll be it. We've completed basically the top 25 in college football, and we will have hit all 32 teams in the NFL, okay? So that's going to spur in conversation. What I'm going to do is talk about those teams, as well as I'm going to give you my picks on who I think is going to play in the national championship game and who's going to win it, as well as give you who I think is going to play in the Super Bowl this year and who's going to win it as well. So I'd like for you to do the same. I mean, it's kind of like cliche sports radio, where we pick teams before the season starts, but that's fine. You know, we do a lot of cliche things around here at the same time as we do a lot of innovative things as well. So today, we're going to break down those final teams in college and pro. We'll talk about them, as well as I'm going to tell you who I like to play in the national championship, as well as the Super Bowl, and who I like to win both. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and I know I'm kind of hedging my bet here, but I'm just going to say this, man. I mean, it's virtually impossible at this point to pick exactly who's going to play in these games, all right? We have a good idea. I mean, chances will tell you based on personnel and recent history what they're going to do, but I'm going to get you ready for it right now, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. My picks for the Super Bowl, I'm still trying to decide on my AFC team. I've got my NFC team. There's two teams I'm in the next hour or so. I'm going to have to figure out who I like to make it to the Super Bowl from the AFC. In college football, I mean, there's one clear favorite. I'm going to pick one team that most everybody else in America thinks will play in this game. You probably know who that is. But the other team is literally going to shock the hell out of you. I know. I feel kind of. Kind of risky, and I'm going to pick this team, man, and it's going to shock you. But I got a lot of reasoning on why I'm picking this team. It may not come to fruition. It may be the stupidest pick in the history of the world, but I got a pick to play in the national championship game this year that's going to absolutely knock you off your socks. So stay tuned to that. All right, hit me up, 404-382-0338. You can give the show a call at the old school type of way and give us a call at 404-382-0338. Or you can email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. But once again, the easy way to be totally interactive is just to hit me in the chat room on Spreaker.com. All right, that's what's up. When we get back from the break, we're going to break down these last four teams that we haven't talked about in this year's top 25, consensus top 25. We'll break down the last four teams coming up from the break, and we'll start reading your chat. I read a lot of chat on the show. That's something else I should have said. I read a ton of chat, makes the show totally interactive, makes the show totally fun. That's how we get down around here on the Doug Stewart Show, okay? Once again, the number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Stay tuned, man. We talking football all day long, and your boy might even sing for y'all. Oh, as I get a deadly look from Tree. I don't know why. Oh, man. Yeah. I really like the idea that Tree came up with me just to do a show where I sing the entire show. I sing the hits. And so we're working on that. All right. So stay tuned. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners. Over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree, at TreeAtTheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
If you're not doing, what the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Throwback Thursday. And we are talking football all day long. Praise his holy name. The NFL is back tonight. And we are talking college football and pro football. I'll jump into some college talk here in a second. We'll break down the last 4 teams for our preseason football reports here on the Doug Stewart Show. If you're new to the show, man, the listeners, the Stewies, the cast that have been supporting the show for close to a year now, they know about this, but you need to know about this as well. We are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show, the weekend of September 26, 2015. A lot of big events going on, a meet and greet party that Friday night, late Friday night. We're actually taking the fellas down to T's Gentlemen's Club right here in the ATL, giving you a little bit of that ATL Gentlemen's Club flavor. That Saturday, a golf tournament. Saturday night, the big event, the all-black party at the Doubletree Hotel in Buckhead, the host hotel. And that Sunday, man, Falcons-Cowboys viewing party. So it's all going down the weekend of September 26th, all right? Get all the details. Get all the details at tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. We had a block of rooms that are sold out. I'm still working on them to try to get more rooms so that we can have give people the opportunity to stay in the host hotel where the all-black party is going down that Saturday night. There's still some tables available if you want to get a VIP table to the all-black party as well. So check out all the details at tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. All right, let's finish talking about the last couple of teams in college football at the top of the Associated Press poll as well as the coaches poll. We've been going from basically worst to first. I think we started out with Tennessee at number 25, which a lot of people feel real good about the Tennessee Volunteers this year in the SEC. But now let's talk about the Baylor Bears, man. Baylor, like I mentioned yesterday in talking about Oregon, Baylor looks like one of those teams that's on the rise, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Over the last couple of years and playing in the state of Texas, obviously it's tough to supersede and get past the Texas Longhorns, Texas A&M, and those teams like that, especially in that southwest part of the country as well when you got other great teams like Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. But Baylor and Coach Art Briles have been doing a great job over the last couple of years. That spread offense, and I got a love-hate relationship with the spread offense. Because on one hand, and it's kind of going to play into some of the conversation a little bit later about who I think is going to play in the national championship game. On one hand, the spread offense is the great equalizer. It is. It kind of schematic-wise, it kind of, levels the playing field where if you don't have superior talent, you can match up with guys, you can score points on teams with better talent per se than your team. So everybody and their mama's running it. On the flip side of it, man, I really don't like it. I'm starting not to like it and really hating it because everybody and their mama is running the spread offense. So Baylor is one of those teams, RG3 many years ago when he was in college and won the Heisman Trophy, obviously had tremendous success doing it. They are one of the best teams in college football to run that style of offense, a lot of no-huddle type situations. Art Browse, the head coach, this year, his son is going to be the first-year head coach of the offense. He's going to be the offensive coordinator. So very interesting there. Seth Russell takes over at quarterback for Bryce Petty, who's now looking for a job in the NFL. I don't think Bryce Petty actually made the team in the NFL this year. So Seth Russell comes in, actually had a very good game last week, his first game out for the Baylor Bears as they beat SMU in handily fashion. So a lot of people are saying, last year was an opportunity where they were kind of in the conversation big-time wise in college football. This year, maybe they make that next step. They're preseason ranked number 4 in college football. So we'll see what the Baylor Bears do this year. Coming in at number 3, the Alabama Crimson Tide. We're in SEC country, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Nick Saban back, coaching the Alabama Crimson Tide, going for his 5th national championship. You know about the couple he won down in LSU, and you know about the couple that he won with the Alabama Crimson Tide, going for number 5. Alabama is Alabama, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Just talent galore. Nick Saban has really brought back the funk to the Alabama Crimson Tide program, which had been down for a couple of years, but they are back right now, one of the preeminent college football programs year in and year out for the most part, and they are definitely back, have had an opportunity to win a couple of more national championships, if not for a miracle play against Auburn a couple of years ago. They've been very, very close to winning 4 under Nick Saban there with the Crimson Tide. The SEC West, the best conference in college football, the best division in college football, is going to be tough, but most people either have Alabama or Auburn at 1 or 2 in this division. We'll see what happens with that. Couple of things to look forward to, man. Jake Coker, he beat out David Cromwell, the freshman that came in, the much heralded freshman, and Coker played last week in their first game as they beat Wisconsin. Looked pretty good, looked pretty solid. And the other big factor for Alabama in their offense is the running back position, and we're talking about Derrick Henry. You talk about an Eddie Lacy clone. He looks like the exact player as Eddie Lacy, but he might even have a little bit more speed. So what do you expect from Alabama this year? If they can fight their way through the tough SEC, and in the SEC West in particular, Alabama's probably going to be right there and vying for a national championship this year. How about the TCU Horned Frogs? I just like saying Horned Frogs. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. When you talk TCU, man, you know it's all about the quarterback, Trayvon Boykin, who's a Heisman Trophy candidate. This was a guy that was playing wide receiver a couple of years ago, but just a phenomenal athlete once again. Another team that runs the hell out of that spread offense, and he makes it look very easy. They got their first win of the season last week against, Minnesota, against Vince's Minnesota Gophers. They look very good, kind of pulled away in the second half of that game. So Trayvon Boykin is the big talk when you talk about that TCU Horned Frog offense and that high-powered offense as well. Gary Peterson back coaching the team. The thing that really hurt TCU last year and all the controversy surrounding the first year of the playoffs, the 4 final teams in college football, is the fact that the Big 12 did not have a championship game. And we'll find out this year if that comes back to bite them as well. We will see. So clearly TCU is the favorite, followed up by Baylor in the Big 12. We'll see what happens with those guys. I love watching those guys, man, because they got like a chip on their shoulder. And I don't believe, obviously you've heard me talk about it before and debate it with my brother. I don't think that teams like Baylor and TCU, based on history and legacy, are ever going to be able to recruit the best players in college football just because of the name and because of the brand and the legacy. But I tell you what, TCU and Baylor are real fun teams to watch because they just throw it all over the place. And number one, the last team in our little conversation about college football and breaking down the top 25 teams is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, if you're new to the show and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, if you're new to the show, if you've never heard me, even going back to the 2 Live Stews, if you've never heard me, I got a real issue with Ohio State. I do, because they stole a national championship from my Miami Hurricanes. I think it was back in 2002. And actually, they didn't steal it. The referees stole it, but they were accomplices in the whole matter. So I got a real issue with them, but there's no denying, man. There's no denying the talent that they have on this team. You watch them just absolutely roll over Virginia Tech the other night. Consensus, preseason number one in college football. That's the first time I think that's ever happened. They're just dominant. Urban Meyer, fantastic coach. You can say all you want about him. I have said a lot about him. I think that it was real bootleg how he left Florida a couple of years ago. He's a great coach. He's a great coach that has won multiple championships. I believe he's won 3-2 in Florida, one last year with Ohio State. There's no denying how good of a team this is. You talk about the quarterback, Cardale Jones, who looks like, to me, a guy that's going to be a top 5 pick. I think he should have went out last year. I thought he would have been a top 5 pick last year. Cardale Jones at the quarterback position. The backup quarterback is probably just as good or better than any quarterback in college football in the nation, and J.T. Barrett. And then you even look at the third-string quarterback, or the guy that was the first-string quarterback a couple of years ago but got hurt, and now he had to move to wide receiver so he can get in the field, and that's Braxton Miller. I mean, phenomenal talent. And top it off, I just talked about Cardale Jones and how I think he's going to be a top 5 pick. Right now, the experts, okay, the draft experts are saying the best player in college football is the defensive tackle Joey Bosa, who didn't even play in the first game against Virginia Tech. He comes back this week. Ohio State is just loaded. They're just loaded. They are. Now, they're going to play into my conversation a little bit later today about the national championship game, who I think is going to play on it. Obviously, I'm not a fool. I mean, they're just stacked. And if you look at their schedule, very, very friendly to the Ohio State Buckeye Nation. And so we'll talk about them a little bit later, man. So there it is. We went from 25-1 just in time for week 2 of college football and week 1 of the NFL. The top 25 teams in college football, baby. Right here on the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. All right, when we get back from the break, I'm going to jump into some of your chat, as well as we're going to break down these birthdays today. A very special birthday today that we're going to talk about, man. Yeah. A little bit later, we're going to break down the NFL, man. The final 4 teams in our NFL preseason football talks right here on the Doug Stewart Show. And a little bit later, even more, I'm going to give you who I like to play for it all and win it all in college and pro. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Sports talk with hot sauce. Texas Pete hot sauce, baby. Keep it right there. Let me tell you about Travel by Stats. Travel by Stats delivers premium travel packages and provide excellence by focusing on assuring that their tour itinerary is clear. For destinations they've never taken, they even take the trip in advance of the actual one you're about to take. This ensures everybody has a great experience. They've been around since 1988 and have been operating here in Atlanta since 2000, starting from the ground up, but they now boast of a team operating in 5 states. Travel by Stats not only specializes in Caribbean destinations, they also provide a variety of reasonable, cost-efficient events by land, air, or sea. One of their big things is sports travel for football fanatics who live in Metro Atlanta. That's the fun way to go anyway. Here's some of their upcoming list of events. Giants at Cowboys, Falcons at Giants, Falcons at Cowboys, Cowboys at Saints, Patriots at Cowboys, and many, many more. Contact them at 855-266-6675, extension 700, for the owner, Maritza Wilmer. Again, that's 855-266-6675, extension 700. If you mention my name, Doug Stewart, you'll receive an extra 10% off your package. Travel by Stats. Where they don't sell travel, they sell fun. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
We're back. Dogs and Poodles. It's Doug and Ryan Stewart of the Two Live Stews.
Tune in to Talk Radio 640 WGST every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. to get all your college and pro football talk.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Bruce Hagen, Hagen-Law.com. Thanks, Bruce.
Meet me at the club. It's going down. Meet me in the A. It's going down. Meet me in Atlanta. That's right. The weekend of September 26, 2015, we are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show, Stewies. And it's going to be crazy. We got a whole list of events scheduled for the entire weekend. That's going to be so fun. Come celebrate with your boy. Starting out Friday night, man, with a meet and greet party at the Artist Den downtown ATL. Late Friday night, it's the Fellas Soiree at T's Gentlemen's Club in Buckhead. Saturday morning, the TDSS Golf Shootout at North Fulton Golf Club downtown ATL. Saturday night, the main event, the all-black party at the Doubletree Hotel in Buckhead. And Sunday, the Falcons versus Cowboys viewing/day party on the rooftop lounge at Mardi Gras Cafe, downtown ATL. It's going to be fantastic, man. You've been looking for a reason to come to Atlanta. Here's your perfect reason. Get all the details at tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. Once again, it's tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. See you in Atlanta. The 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Yes, sir.
Stewies, what's up? Tree here to talk about your home security and the security experts at Strickland Security. Everything the team at Strickland Security does is focused around increasing the security of your home, protecting your family, and your business. Most home security companies, especially the larger ones, want to sell you a cookie-cutter alarm system that maximizes their profits, but not your security. The team at Strickland Security will install a customized alarm system that meets your budget and your security needs. This Atlanta-based company is here to solve all of your security problems. Whether you need your alarm system repaired, surveillance cameras installed, or your door locks replaced, Strickland Security is the solution. Don't wait. Call the experts at Strickland Security today. For more information, go to their website at stricklandsecurity.com or give them a call now at 800-422-9075. That's 800-422-9075 and tell them Tree sent you.
If you're not doing what the hell are you doing, this is the Doug Stewart Show. Throwback Thursday. And we're talking football, man. The NFL is back tonight. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to the cheating-ass New England Patriots. I know. And so we're talking about football, man. Finishing up our preseason team reports, college and pro, and getting ready for the NFL to kick off tonight. I cannot wait, man. I'm going to my ritual and something that I really want to focus on and enjoy is to pop some popcorn. My wife actually bought me one of those actually real movie theater style popcorn popping machines for Christmas one year. And so I got one of those in the basement and going to pop up some popcorn, and get me a nice beverage, some type of juice or whatever, and sit on my couch and watch this game tonight, man, and really, really, really get into it, man. Football is back. I mean, let's be honest. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Let's be honest. We suffer through everything else for the most part. Some more sports than others. I love the NFL. I love basketball. I love college football, college basketball, but it's all about the NFL. I mean, let's just be honest. It's all about the NFL, man. It's the drink that stirs the drink, as they say. And tonight it is back. Let me talk a little bit of birthdays, man. We do this on the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. Before I do that, though, this segment is brought to you by my good friends from BV Mobile Apps, all right? Are you an entertainer? Are you an artist, DJ? You have a podcast or something like that, man? You need a mobile apps presence, all right? And the best way to do that, man, is to holler at my folks at BV Mobile Apps. They actually did and created the app for the Doug Stewart Show, which I have no issues with. I've had it pretty much from the start of the show back in September of last year. No issues. You're able to post things on there. Whatever you need, you can have on there. They're very customer friendly as far as helping you if you have any issues at all. So highlight my folks at BV. That's boy, V as in victory, BV Mobile Apps. And tell them that Doug Stewart sent you. All right? All right, so birthdays today, and we'll get back into your chat. And we'll get back into the football. We're going to break down the last couple of teams I got in the NFL before the game comes on tonight in the NFL. Let's see, who's got a birthday today? Misty Copeland. You know who Misty Copeland is? Misty Copeland, 33 years old. Happy birthday to her. She's the ballet dancer who's the first African-American soloist in the history of the American Ballet Theater. And if you've seen her name, thrown around over the last couple of weeks and months, she recently signed a deal with Under Armour. That's right. So the spokesman for Under Armour, the big spokesman for Under Armour, are Misty Copeland, who, is very attractive young lady if you've seen her, as well as Jordan Spieth in golf, and Steph Curry. Now, I think there might be one more person that I might be missing, but I think those are the big three that they talk about that Under Armour is really trotting out there as spokesman for the company. The Tree of Life, yes, Tree. What do you have to say about Miss Copeland, Tree?
Spokeswoman.
Oh, yeah. What did I say, spokesman?
Of course you did.
That's okay. Shut up, studio audience!
You can't help yourself.
All right, so the voice you just heard just now is the producer to the Doug Stewart Show, Tree, the Tree of Life, as we call her around here. She breathes life around here, and she's very woman's libish and sanctified at the same time, too. So thank you for that, Tree. So Misty Copeland turns 33 years old. The great Arnold Palmer turns 86 years old today. Wow, 86. Yeah, you got a good run going on there, sir. Happy birthday to him. Won 4 Masters tournaments from 1958 to 1964, as well as 2 Open championships in the 1960 U.S. Open. Named PGA Player of the Year in 1960 and 62, inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 1974. Ben Wallace, former Detroit Pistons, celebrates a birthday today. He's 41. Huh? I guess so. Seems like Ben Wallace is a lot older than 41. He just look old. He must smoke cigarettes or something like that. So happy birthday to Ben Wallace. You remember him and Ron Artest, their claim to fame, or their claim to shame, some people would say, was the brawl at the Palace at Auburn Hills. So he turns 41 years old today. Happy birthday to him. I thought sure he was at least 50. I thought sure. And also celebrating a birthday today is one of the greats of all times. The great Big Daddy Kane celebrates a birthday today.
I'm coming.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming.
Here I am. Yeah, so Big Daddy Kane celebrates his 47th birthday today. Happy birthday to the Kane, man. Wow, one of the greatest rappers in the history of rap. I always get into the conversation about the greatest rappers of all times, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. For new listeners that haven't heard my list before, Let me give it to you again. My top 5 rappers of all time. Number 5 is LL Cool J. Number 4 is KRS-One. Number 3 is the great Tupac Shakur. Number 2 is Biggie Smalls. And to pay homage to and respect of old school, the number 1 rapper of all time in my book is none other than Rakim Allah. That's my top 5, okay? And then I revealed it a couple of days ago, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I kind of revealed it a couple of days ago in conversation. 6 and 7 are either Jay-Z or Nas. You do a coin toss. I don't know. So those are 6 and 7 in my top 10. So what I'm actually rounding out a top 10 list here now that I think about it. In my top 10, I got Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane is either 8, 9, or 10. I don't know. I have to sit down and think about it, but the Kane celebrates his 47th birthday today. Happy birthday to him. Founding member of the Juice Crew. He's also known for appearances in Posse. You remember that movie, Posse? Meteor Man, and was featured in Madonna's sex book. What? What do you mean he was featured in Madonna's sex book? What was that all about? Did he used to bang Madonna?
I mean, they hooked up, allegedly.
Wow. So wait a minute. What is this Madonna's sex book? What is that? A book where she talks about all her sexual exploits? What is that all about?
And pictures. It's old. It's like it feels like it came out right around when the whole Vanessa Williams thing happened.
So, Tree, wait a minute, back up. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show.
We were kids.
Why do you know about this? I was about to say, when Madonna's sex book came out, are you talking about Vanessa Williams and what was it, Playboy or whatever the magazine was? You had to be about 8 or 9 years old, right?
I was in the 5th grade.
So how do you know about Madonna's sex book, you old heathen? Now, come on now. You sanctified it also. What you're telling me is you got sanctified later in life. As a 9-year-old on the playground, you were looking at Madonna's sex book, huh? I know, Tree. We all have a story. We all have a story, Tree. And yours is a beautiful one, that you came from the depths of hell to heaven. And being the sanctified Esther that you are, praise his holy name. Even she can be delivered from wretchery. Yes, Tree. Thank you. Thank you, Tree.
Why you got your hand up like you praying over me?
Thank you, Tree.
Let me go. Let me get my purse.
Thank you, Tree. Okay, so now Tree's reaching for a purse for a little play gun. Wow. Tree was looking at Hustler magazine in 5th grade, catching up with Madonna and her sexual exploits, and now she's the Aunt Esther of the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so if you're new to the show, Tree is very religious, and we like that about her. We actually need some prayer. Oh, she got another weapon. We actually need prayer for this show, definitely. Yeah, I see. Okay, so now Tree's pulled out a bottle on my ass.
Remember when Easy was holding that bottle?
Yeah.
Straight out of Compton. Keep talking.
Yeah. All right, when we get back from the break, man, let's talk about college football, man, or NFL. Let's talk about NFL. Let's talk about the final teams in my NFL preseason team reports. We'll break that down. We'll get into some of your chat. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll get into the chat first. And if we have time, maybe we'll talk about the final NFL teams in my preseason football reports. If not, we'll push it off to one more segment. Or maybe we might get into it in the next segment. We'll see. All right? Thank you so much for all of the chat, all of the love, and all of the participation on the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back, more fun. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. Your season-long fantasy football lineup is locked in and ready for action, but you don't have to wait until Week 16 to get paid. Put your fantasy skills to the test starting Sunday at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site, where you could kick the season off by winning $2 million. It's the biggest fantasy football contest ever. $10 million in prizes are up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second. 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments. It's fantasy football on demand. Play where you want, when you want, with the players you want, and turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. Just pick your players, pile up the points, and pick up your cash. That's it. You've never experienced football like this. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play for free for a shot at part of $10 million in Sunday's Millionaire Maker event. Enter Spreaker for free entry now only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
To give you the history on this Doug Stewart and Tree Taylor battle in Trivia Crack. We just started playing last week. We played 3 games. I won the first one in handily fashion. And then Tree has come along to beat me 2 times in a row. All right. Now, I blame Trivia Crack for asking me dumbass questions about romance comedies from the 1980s. That's who I blame. But she's won. And I got to give her credit. What? I knew you were going to jump.
Like, when you talk about women, Tree has come along.
It ain't got nothing to do with you being a woman.
I showed up.
Oh, wait. Did you just... What? Oh, my gosh. Did she just call me the N-word? Oh, damn. We made Doug Stewart Show history just now. As many times as I've almost uttered that term, you did it! And we don't have 7-second delay.
I'm fired.
You getting the BPA. You nominated for a Boiled Penis Award.
No.
Yes, you are. The first time in the Doug Stewart Show history, someone utters the N-word.
I'm sick of you.
You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Good thing we, on radio, traditional radio, at FCC be beating down my damn door right now. They're already looking for a reason to try to put me out of business. And you come up with this. Golly, True. You're better than that.
That girl is poison. You never trust a big button to smile.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
The world's heavyweight champion of sports talk and guy talk radio. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Man, thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate it. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. All right. Man, make sure you get your tickets right now. I'm telling you, for the all-black party, September 26th is going down at the Doubletree Hotel in Buckhead right here in ATL. The 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show. Get all the details at tdssaweekend.eventbrite.com. All right. Today's show is centered around football, man. The NFL is back tonight. The Pittsburgh Steelers take on the New England Patriots. Isn't that ironic? With the Patriots and all the issues that they've had over the last couple of months and all of the cheating and all of the allegations that have come out in the court cases, Brady, Goodell, and all of that. They actually host the first game, and oh, behold, wow, amazing. Tom Brady's actually able to play. So we've been talking about football all day. I already broke down the final remaining college football teams in our preseason team previews. We'll also get into here in a second, man, the final teams in the NFL. And also today, I'm going to give you who I think is going to play in the national championship game, as well as who's going to play in the Super Bowl and who are your winners, your preseason picks that we do that type of thing in sports radio. But let me read some of your chat here, man. You can hit me up on the chat line on Spreaker.com. From Sandman, hoping to chat to say what's up. I'll just be listening today. Or he says hitting to chat. Is that what he's saying? He's just basically saying he's jumping in the chat. He can't really chat today. He's just saying hello to everybody because he's got to work today. His boss is on his back like the hag. So shouts out to you, Sandman. From Sluggo, he says ESB doing what it does best, promote propaganda, anything to move past Brady, Belichick, and company. Yeah, and I think what he's referring to is this whole Floyd Mayweather Jr. story that just came out yesterday. And I agree with you, Sluggo. Because you throw in Floyd's name, people forget about the last stories and the stories that are really relevant and the stories that we should remember. And if you listened to the show yesterday, I really made an effort for you to remember how bad this Patriots cheating scandal is and has been for the last 15 years. If you didn't hear yesterday's show, I suggest you go back and listen to it. So I agree with you, Sluggo. From Clay Davis' Sheed Advisor, you guys know that what Floyd took was not banned by the WADA. This is the media trying to smear money. The substance contained in the IV are not banned by the WADA, and it's followed by the USADA standards. The headline is made to fool people into thinking that Floyd used illegal drugs before he fought Manny. Yes. And it's more the same. Now, it's more than the same. And just to break down what my man Clay Davis, Sheed Advisor, just mentioned, what Floyd supposedly used was not banned. It was not a banned substance. The way that it was administered, for whatever reason that I don't understand, was wrong, was illegal. And so, at the end of the day, I don't know what it means. He didn't use the banned substance. The way it was administered was, they're not going to go back and take back the $200 million he made. They're not going to go back and take the win off the books. They're not going to, change the W to an L. So I don't even know what this story even means. From Vince Wright, I agree with how it's been framed, Clay. Not the story I read on Bleacher Report said he was in violation. No, he did not use PEDs in the sense that we think of PEDs. From Brian Hill, BPA to Floyd for fighting a tomato can. Where did the term tomato can come from? I guess if you think about it, people kick cans on the street. It's easy to do. Anybody can beat and kick around a tomato can, so thus I think. I'm just going to guess. That's just my casual guess. I think that's probably where the term tomato can comes from. From Scotty, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, Floyd should have allowed the fight to come on regular TV. That's the only way the average fan will watch the fight. He will win, though. But that's not Floyd's decision. That's not Floyd's decision. That's Showtime's decision. Showtime, evidently they booked this fight. They agreed to this fight, and they thought that they could sell it on pay-per-view. And it looks like that's not the case. It's looking like that's not the case because from what we're hearing, sales are down tremendously for this fight in comparison to some of his last fights, in particular the Manny Pacquiao fight. So it is what it is. I mean, he'll probably beat Andre Berto. There's probably a 99% chance that he's going to beat Andre Berto. But it is what it is. From 9-0 the Rhino, seems ESPN is trolling for clicks again. Yes, definitely. If you see a headline, and it kind of reads and it's kind of interpreted as Floyd Mayweather Jr., with all the controversy between Floyd and Manny and doping and taking a drug test, and Manny won't agree to a drug test, this, that, and the other. So what's a great way to flip it? Oh, the guy that railed against Manny Pacquiao and has suggested that Manny Pacquiao has used performance-enhancing drugs throughout his career, he's using performance-enhancing drugs. Even though that's not the case, when you read it, when you initially saw the headline, that's what instantly came to your mind. So what do? You click. And that's exactly what the story seems like it is to me. From 9-0 the Rhino seems, or from Ronald Cameron, Thomas Hauser is the one who broke this Floyd story. He's extremely credible, and he's been in the business for years. Not saying that Mr. Hauser isn't a credible source. What I guess the crux of the conversation we've had with me reading these text messages, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, is how it appears and the way it comes across the day before the man gets into the ring again. So wait a minute. When did he fight Manny Pacquiao? When was that? What month was that, Tree?
May 2nd.
That was May. It was Cinco de Mayo time. Floyd always fights during Cinco de Mayo, okay? So around May 2nd, 5th, something like that. So you're talking June, July, August. 3 months pass by, and you mean to tell me this story comes out the day before his fight? GTFOH. As the kids would post on Instagram, GTFOH. From Ronald Cameron, Stringer. If Floyd fights and nobody watches, did it really happen? Okay, I get what you're saying there. Like a tree in the woods, all of that stuff. From the Brother Beloved, Doug's mind-blowing pick is Newberry. No, it's not Newberry. But I got a pick that's going to shock a lot of people listening to this show that it's going to play in the national championship game this year. I'm just taking a flyer, man. I'm going to take a flyer. We'll see. So I'll tell you about that a little bit later. From Thale Pay, he says, better not say South Carolina, Doug. Stay tuned. From Ronald Cameron, I'm not a huge college football fan, but I don't see anyone beating Ohio State. Yeah, that's the consensus thought around here, man, is that Ohio State's going to roll this year. From the Brother Beloved, I have a love-hate relationship with Doug singing. I love to hate his efforts, except for country and blues, but it's really come to grow on me. He is so phenomenal behind the microphone. It's ingenious. Thank you, Doug, for blessing us with your great singing. Thank you, Doug. Praise God. Praise his holy name. Wow. That's a lot. Thank you. Thank you, the Brother Beloved. Tree, something's wrong with your microphone right now. You're breaking up. Your microphone's breaking up, Tree. Something's wrong with Tree's microphone, so we're going to work on that. Let's see. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart. Thank you so much, the Brother Beloved. From Mitchell, I'm hoping that Tree will mute her microphone and not Doug's when he starts to sing, because Doug's singing is like angels. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mitchell. Wow. Thank you. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, I told you this earlier, that people actually tune in just to hear me sing. I mean, forget all the other stuff. Forget the sports and the intriguing conversation that we have around here Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. But people actually tune in just to hear me sing. And so I might sing something for y'all in a minute here. Stay tuned. From Encyclopedia Brown, Scotty is a message here that Tree sent me from Scotty, but I'm not going to read that one. Scotty's an old jokester or whatever, man. Scotty, you funny. From Encyclopedia Brown, Belichick should be banned for life. Brady suspended for a whole season. Robert Kraft should get fined $100 million. No draft picks for 3 years. $10 million reduction in salary cap. And all the titles should be vacated. That would be fair. I 100% agree with you. Obviously, if you heard the show yesterday, I guess it's hard to validate all of that with what's going on with Deflategate. But when you couple it with the history of the New England Patriots, and in particular, what happened with Spygate, yeah, all of what you just said, Encyclopedia Brown, I agree with. I agree with it all. I said it from the very beginning. I thought Belichick should have been suspended the entire year. I thought Tom Brady should have been gone the entire year. You're talking about $100 million to the organization. That sounds right to me. I like that. I like exactly where you're going with your sentiments, sir. From Clay Davis, the Sheed advisor. I'm not watching the game tonight. I refuse to watch those some of my, and he put a bunch of characters. But I know what you're saying. Playing any game. Well, it kind of reminds me of that scene in Do the Right Thing. You remember when Bugging Out was in Sal's Pizza, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You remember when Bugging Out was in Sal's Pizza, and he looked up and says, "But Sal, why ain't no brothers on the wall?" And then later on in that same episode, when Bugging Out was trying to convince all his boys, Martin Lawrence and a couple of the dudes on the block, to boycott Sal's, and Martin looked at him and says, "Man, as good as that Mickey Vicky pizza is, I ain't boycotting ish." Yeah. I know in my mind and my heart I should boycott the game tonight, but the NFL is just too good. It's just like Sal's Pizza. I'm watching. As good as that Mickey Figgy pizza is, I ain't boycotting ish. Yeah, that's what it is, man. All right, when we get back from the break, man, it'll be hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. We'll break down these final NFL teams for our preseason football reports, and then we'll start getting into the conversation of who I like to play for the championships and who I like to win it all. More of your chat as well. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Let me tell you about Travel by Stats. Travel by Stats delivers premium travel packages and provide excellence by focusing on assuring that their tour itinerary is clear. For destinations they've never taken, they even take the trip in advance of the actual one you're about to take. This ensures everybody has a great experience. They've been around since 1988 and have been operating here in Atlanta since 2000, starting from the ground up, but they now boast of a team operating in 5 states. Travel by Stats not only specializes in Caribbean destinations, they also provide a variety of reasonable, cost-efficient events by land, air, or sea. One of their big things is sports travel for football fanatics who live in Metro Atlanta. That's the fun way to go anyway. Here's some of their upcoming list of events. Giants at Cowboys, Falcons at Giants, Falcons at Cowboys, Cowboys at Saints, Patriots at Cowboys, and many, many more. Contact them at 855-266-6675, extension 700, for the owner, Maritza Wilmer. Again, that's 855-266-6675, extension 700. If you mention my name, Doug Stewart, you'll receive an extra 10% off your package. Travel by Stats. Where they don't sell travel, they sell fun. Meet me at the club. It's going down. Meet me in the A. It's going down. Meet me in Atlanta. That's right. The weekend of September 26, 2015, we are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show, Stewies. And it's going to be crazy. We got a whole list of events scheduled for the entire weekend. That's going to be so fun. Come celebrate with your boy. Starting out Friday night, man, with a meet and greet party at the Artist Den downtown ATL. Late Friday night, it's the Fellas Soiree at T's Gentlemen's Club in Buckhead. Saturday morning, the TDSS Golf Shootout at North Fulton Golf Club downtown ATL. Saturday night, the main event, the all-black party at the Doubletree Hotel in Buckhead. And Sunday, the Falcons versus Cowboys viewing/day party on the rooftop lounge at Mardi Gras Cafe, downtown ATL. It's going to be fantastic, man. You've been looking for a reason to come to Atlanta. Here's your perfect reason. Get all the details at tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. Once again, it's tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. See you in Atlanta. The 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Yes, sir. We're back. The 2 Live Stews are back on air every Saturday morning on WGST at 11 a.m.
It's Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. Special thanks to our sponsor, Bruce Hagen, Hagen-Law.com, for making it happen. Thanks, Bruce. You the man, the people's lawyer.
Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BV Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. It's hour number 2, baby. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Throwback Thursday. Shout out to all of the Stewies out there. And, man, the season gets kicked off tonight in the NFL. Speaking of the season gets kicked off tonight in the NFL, man, if you live in Metro Atlanta and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, if you live in Metro Atlanta and you're trying to go see the big game, man, why not do it with a coach service, with a bus company? And I'm talking about Travel by Stats. You ever been to a game, man, with a group of people, fans of the same team that you're a fan of? It's really, really fun. It's luxurious. You get to relax, kick it. You get to drink like a freaking fish on the bus or whatever you want to do. So it's fun. I've done it several times, man. My folks at Travel by Stats have been doing it since 1998, and they've got it all figured out. They started out very small, but now their operation expands over 5 different states. They are already set to go to see the Falcons take on the Dallas Cowboys. Several games they've already got on the itinerary. So if you live in Metro Atlanta and you got a church group, maybe Boy Scouts or something like that, the usher board, whatever it may be, all right? Travel to see the game with my folks from Travel by Stats. Give them a call at 855-266-6675. Again, that's 855-266-6675, extension 700, or just check them out online at travelbystats.com. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so a little bit earlier, we broke down the final few teams in college football. Right now, let me talk a little bit about these pro teams. We've only got 4 teams left that we haven't had a chance to get through, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And then a little bit later, I'll talk about who I like to play in the national championship, the Super Bowl, and who I like to win them all. All right? You can also give me a call still at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. And I'm going to get back into your chat here in a second. Let's talk a little bit about the Denver Broncos. John Fox is gone, and Gary Kubiak is in as the first-year head coach of the Denver Broncos. John Fox, I guess you would say a very good run for the Denver Broncos for many, many years. Never could take them over the top, though, and win a Super Bowl. So he's out as the head coach, and Gary Kubiak, one-time Denver Bronco, has been a coach in the NFL before with the Houston Texans. He is now the head coach for the Denver Broncos. How about this, man? Monty Ball. You remember Monty Ball, the running back for the Wisconsin Badgers? And I've said this many, many times before. You get a false sense of security with analyzing the running back position for the Wisconsin Badgers, because every year in and year out, they play behind a tremendously big-ass offensive lineman. I guess it's that Midwest. They eat a bunch of corn or whatnot or whatever, and they get big and strong. So Monty Ball is out. You remember he was the first-round draft pick of the I don't know if he was a first-round pick. He might have been a late first-rounder or maybe in the second round. But he had more touchdowns in his career at Wisconsin than any other player running back in college football. Or maybe it was his senior year, and I'm sorry, I don't know the exact stat on that. I apologize. But Monty Ball comes in, man, and he's out of the league right now. The Denver Broncos picked him up, and he was supposed to be the guy. And Denver's usually had a stable of running backs over the last couple of years. They just plug guys in. But Monty Ball is out, so you're going to have to look for a new guy to step up at the running back position. The Broncos grabbed defensive end Shane Ray to rush the passer. They've already got Von Miller, and they've already got DeMarcus Ware. The Packers or the Broncos pass rush ranked 4th in generating pressure last season, so they're going after the quarterback even more. Obviously, Gary Kubiak coming in as the head coach. The offense should be fine. He's always been explosive in the offensive side of the ball. You still got Peyton Manning, so they think they can get it done on that side. They're going to try to get the quarterback. That's the whole game plan for the Denver Broncos this year, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So the Denver Broncos, a team that have been right there since Peyton's been there, and I think this is Peyton's 4th year with the team. They've been right there, but they haven't been able to really close the deal. We'll see if they can get it done this year. The third team in the preseason power rankings on the list that I've been looking at for the last couple of months is the Green Bay Packers. You talk about disappointing. Wow. You talk about disappointing. They pretty much were packing their bags and getting ready to go to a trip to the Super Bowl last year, and then we all know what happened. Just absolutely collapsed in the second half against the Seattle Seahawks, and the rest is history. They were 12-4 last year. Tremendous season, phenomenal season, and so they look to build upon that. Mike McCarthy, one of the best coaches in the game, back as the head coach. The Packers lose Jordy Nelson, the wide receiver, but they still got the best quarterback in football, in my opinion, and that's Aaron Rodgers behind the center. The Packers have used 8 of their 10 first-round picks on defense since drafting Aaron Rodgers. The Packers haven't ranked higher than 13th in opponent point per game since winning the Super Bowl after the 2010 season. They re-signed James Jones, who had left the team for a year, going out to Oakland. They re-signed him after the Jordy Nelson injury. They also have Randall Cobb, who had been nicked up in training camp, but he was cleared to play in this weekend's game, the wide receiver as well. The Packers are one of the teams to beat this year in the NFL. There's not even a question about that. Many people like myself say they probably should have been in the Super Bowl last year and probably winning a Super Bowl last year, but that was not the case. So the Packers are your third team. And how about the second team, man? The New England Patriots. Bill Belichick, back as head coach for the New England Patriots. You know the record. They've won 4 Super Bowls there. Could have easily won a couple of more had not some things gone against them. In particular, you look back at the New York Giants Super Bowl win where they threw the Hail Mary type pass and completed it to David Tyree. The Patriots could have easily won that Super Bowl and been undefeated that year. Their record speaks for itself. I'm not a fan. Obviously, I'm not a fan anymore. Never was a fan per se, but respected the organization. I don't even respect this organization anymore. But they just won the damn Super Bowl last year, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Chances are, with the talent that they have on that team, and once again, just winning the Super Bowl last year, they'll probably be in the thick of things again. Tom Brady's your quarterback. The cheating SOB Tom Brady is back. The forever tainted Tom Brady is back as the quarterback to the team. Schematically, defensive-wise, Bill Belichick has been one of the greatest coaches in the game, so they'll always come up with a great game plan. The Patriots use the draft to bulk up on the offensive and defensive lines, drafting 6 linemen in the first 5 rounds. The New England Patriots are back, and they'll probably make another run for a Super Bowl. I know, studio audience, but we had to talk about them just a little bit. And the last team in this year's NFL preseason team reports is the Seattle Seahawks. Are 3 straight Super Bowls possible? Is it possible that the Seattle Seahawks can make it to their 3rd straight Super Bowl? Went last year, should have won it last year, if not for the most boneheaded call in the history of the Super Bowl by Pete Carroll and his offensive staff. Should have won it last year. Can they make it to a 3rd? Can Russell Wilson make it to his 3rd Super Bowl as a starting quarterback in the NFL? Time will tell. Defensively, one of the toughest teams we've ever seen in the history of the game. Will the Seattle Seahawks, with that Legion of Boom secondary, will they be back in this year's Super Bowl? I'm going to give you my thoughts on it in a little while. So there you have it. Every team, all 32 in the NFL this year, highlighted, chronicled, and talked about right here on the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back, I'm going to read more of your chat. We might even sing for you coming back from the break. And at some point coming up very soon, I'm going to tell you who I like to play in the championship games, NFL and in college. All right? Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah! Your season-long fantasy football lineup is locked in and ready for action, but you don't have to wait until Week 16 to get paid. Put your fantasy skills to the test starting Sunday at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site, where you could kick the season off by winning $2 million. It's the biggest fantasy football contest ever. $10 million in prizes are up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second. 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments. It's fantasy football on demand. Play where you want, when you want, with the players you want, and turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. Just pick your players, pile up the points, and pick up your cash. That's it. You've never experienced football like this. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play for free for a shot at part of $10 million in Sunday's Millionaire Maker event. Enter Spreaker for free entry now only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
The Doug Stewart Show presents another episode of Stories with Uncle Dougie, straight out of Monk's Corner edition.
So my best friend, man, Bubba, he gets on the bus. And he sits down, and he's, like, distraught. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? And we're on the bus on the way to school. We're, like, in 9th, 10th grade, and we're on the bus on the way to school. And he says, my old man, he shot a man last night. I was like, wait a minute. What did you say? And I had heard these stories before, and then rest in peace, his daddy's name was Coconut. Coconut was a little guy, probably 5'5", about, 140 pounds. So he's a little dude. And little dudes, man, they don't got the tolerance to wrestle with you or fight or put up their hands or something like that, especially old cats like this where I'm from. He's like, my old man stumbled in 4 o'clock in the morning, and I met him in the hallway because he was extra intoxicated. And he looked at me and said, Bubba, I had to shoot a man tonight. And come to find out more of the story, now keep in mind, this was in 1985 or something like this. Coconut was probably in his late 50s. Early 60s, and once again, I told you, the story on the street was that he had done this many times before. Come to find out, Coconut had shot 4, maybe 5 people throughout his life in our little town in Monk's Corner, South Carolina. This is not a lie, and I know this seems like a story from the Andy Griffith Show, from Ernest T. Bass. This is not a lie. In my hometown, you can literally shoot people or shoot at people, connect on their lower extremities 4, 5, 6 times, and not go to jail forever.
The Doug Stewart Show.
Let me tell you about Travel by Stats. Travel by Stats delivers premium travel packages and provide excellence by focusing on assuring that their tour itinerary is clear. For destinations they've never taken, they even take the trip in advance of the actual one you're about to take. This ensures everybody has a great experience. They've been around since 1988 and have been operating here in Atlanta since 2000, starting from the ground up, but they now boast of a team operating in 5 states. Travel by Stats not only specializes in Caribbean destinations, they also provide a variety of reasonable, cost-efficient events by land, air, or sea. One of their big things is sports travel for football fanatics who live in Metro Atlanta. That's the fun way to go anyway. Here's some of their upcoming list of events. Giants at Cowboys, Falcons at Giants, Falcons at Cowboys, Cowboys at Saints, Patriots at Cowboys, and many, many more. Contact them at 855-266-6675, extension 700, for the owner, Maritza Wilmer. Again, that's 855-266-6675, extension 700. If you mention my name, Doug Stewart, you'll receive an extra 10% off your package. Travel by Stats. Where they don't sell travel, they sell fun. Let's just play one of the classics for the Stewies. Yes, sir. You know, everybody's talking about the good old days. Everybody's talking about the good old days. Oh, man. I remember when me and my brother, we used to sit up on the porch in the summertime and just talk about just making it. Man, that boy is talented. You know what I'm saying? Being successful, following up our dreams, you know. And
You're
I
welcome,
believe that's every
Stewies.
kid's dream, you know what I'm saying? To rise and be somebody.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Lord Killer.
Sometimes we just get caught up. I ain't got no money.
Yes, sir.
And I ain't got no friends.
You're welcome, Stewies.
Look like my world is coming to an end.
Yes, sir.
No food on the table.
That boy is bad.
No clothes on my back. No shoes on my feet. And I just barely got a used Cadillac. Now ain't that ghetto for ya?
Yes, sir.
But somehow it's gonna change, yeah. Ghetto for ya.
Sing it, Dougie. Sing it, Dougie.
So I took this remix and rearranged Gotham City. City of love. A city of peace. City of love.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so if you're new to the show, that's one of my classics.
the remix of Gotham City, R. Kelly. I performed that a couple of months ago, and so I just felt like if you're new to the show, that'll give you a good barometer of my skills and how I do it around here when I sing. So you're welcome. If you're a new listener, Stewies, you're welcome too. Oh, boy, that boy is something else. Thank you so much for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show, man. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. A lot's been going on over the last week or so I haven't really had time to go into the studio with my singing coach and really, perfect a new track for you, a new rendition, a new karaoke tune per se. And so I just decided to play one of my classics for you, and you're welcome. You're welcome. We'll get back in the swing of things here in a minute. Been talking a lot of football, obviously. The 2 Live Stews are back. If you haven't heard, the Stews are back. I mean, incredible. 640 WGST on Saturday morning. I'm still trying to decide on whether we're going to bring that facet to the 2 Live Stews show. I don't see why we wouldn't. We're trying to get ratings. We are trying to get ratings. And so what better way to do that than add the gift of song from Doug Stewart. So if you agree with me, just inbox me and it'll help me make my decision on that, because I kind of feel like me singing, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, is a Doug Stewart Show thing. It's this 2 Live Stews brand, but it's a little bit different. So, and at the same time, though, I want to highlight, I want to lift up and uplift the 2 Live Stews, so maybe I'll take the singing on there on Saturday morning. Tune in and check us out. You'll see. 11 a.m. on 640 WGST as well as iHeartRadio. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We're going to get into here in a second who I'm thinking is going to play in the Super Bowl, as well as who's going to play in the national championship game in college football, and who I like to win both of them as well. So stay tuned for that. But I'm going to read some of your chat, man. Thank you so much for all of the chat. From the 47th problem, he says to the Ohio State Buckeyes, I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and nobody else but you. Regards, Nick Saban. I agree. I hope all the bad things in life, except for death, obviously. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you, Ohio State. Ohio State fans, you, and you. Signed, the haters. From Sluggo, definitely not an Ohio State fan, but they smacked everybody around when it counted. Hard to hate on the better team. Yeah, man, that team I watched the other night with all the excitement going on and in Blacksburg, Virginia, against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech stayed in competition for the first half, and then the second half it was just a wrap. They need to stop running Cardale Jones as much as he does, though. I'm telling you, he's not a natural runner. And his body is exposed, man. He's a big guy, so defensive back's going to go for his knees. I want that young man to make it through this season healthy, because if he doesn't, it's going to be that much worse, the fact that he gave up an opportunity to go to the NFL last year. So we'll see what happens to that. But they look unbeatable, man. He looks like the best quarterback in college football right now. Skill-wise, technique-wise, I talked about this before. He just looks phenomenal. To me, he looks phenomenal. From Clay Davis's Sheed advisor, I don't know what's worse, SEC fans or Ohio State fans after they win. From Fel Pay, a colleague of mine is an Ohio State alumni. Ninja been getting on my damn nerve ever since January. I know the feeling, bruh. Trust me, I know the feeling. From Scotty, Grego, Alabama needs a dominant quarterback. Otherwise, teams will just key on the running game. From John the Company Man, Ohio State is loaded and nothing in that conference is going to stop them. Run CNC. Ohio State hasn't lost a big regular season game in 3 years. Conference is down and they own it. Yeah, you got to remember, Urban Meyer's first year, didn't they go undefeated in the regular season? Right, until the bowl game, and they lost the bowl game. From KC, Ohio State will not play ranked team until November against Michigan State. From Grego, Scotty, I think the coach level is even. Quarterback is Ohio State, and the team aspect is even. Clay Davis is Sheed advisor. Like I said, This is 2010 for Bama again, where they lost 3 games. Wow. I doubt that, sir. See, the thing about Alabama, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, is they got cats on their bench, and a lot of teams are like this in college football. But Alabama in particular, they got nothing but 4- and 5-star kids on the bench. You just haven't seen them yet. There's going to be somebody that emerges for Alabama this year that we didn't know about. Just like Eddie Lacy just stepped into the game and was dominant, or just like Amari Cooper got on the field and you saw what he could do. There's cats just like them dudes. Mark Ingram, there's cats on the bench right now that we just haven't seen yet. But at some point this year, we probably will. From Detroit, Matt, as a Michigan fan, it hurts to say Michigan State looks pretty good. From that ninja, Michigan State is the real deal, but we have a lot of time to get ready for them. And talking as a fan of Ohio State, that ninja's a fan of Ohio State. I know that. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Grego, he says, BPA to those boys trying to kill their parents. They're not getting out, are they? From Sluggo, I read that story. I don't know the particulars of that story, but I did read across that headline. Sluggo, BPA to the cops who assaulted the former tennis player for no freaking reason. Yeah, and if you haven't heard about that, former tennis star James Blake was detained by New York police, handcuffed and thrown to the floor in a case of mistaken identity. Why is always mistaken identity? He was leaving a plush Manhattan hotel. Wait a minute. That don't even add up. How you leaving a plush Manhattan hotel, which if you've ever stayed in Manhattan, they're talking about a space, a boutique hotel that's probably like 8x8 that costs like $400 a night. How you going to leave a plush Manhattan hotel and be misidentified with anybody doing anything bad? I think you got to give a dude walking out of a plush hotel in Manhattan the benefit of the doubt, right? Seriously. But such is not the case. He was held for 15 minutes before a passerby walked by and said, "Hey, man, that's James Blake." They didn't literally say it like that, but they said it kind of like that a little bit. And they let dude go. It's just more of the same, man. It's just more of the same. Speaking of which, if y'all haven't heard the latest on Tybo Cephalosha, the Atlanta Hawks swing forward, small forward, or whatever, he was offered a deal by the New York police. And what happened with that whole incident where his leg got broken late in the NBA season, he wasn't able to play in their last series in the playoffs. He turned it down. He's like, hell to the no. He wants to be totally exonerated. Not only that, if he does get exonerated, which I don't see any reason why he shouldn't based on the reports that we get out there about this story, he's probably going to sue the hell out of them. And he's probably going to win. If you saw the video and what occurred after said incident started, and his leg got broken and he lost, his livelihood for a couple of months and helped this team not win and progress in the playoffs, I think he's got a great lawsuit. So once again, it's just more of the same, man. It's just more of the same. Sue the hell out of them, Tybo. We're going to keep our eyes on that, man. And if I'm James Blake, I'm suing the police as well. Stop accosting people, man, just because of how they look. Just stop it. It's not going to stop. I know I'm just saying it, putting it out in the atmosphere, but it's not going to stop. It's just not going to stop, man. All right, when we get back from the break, man, I'll tell you who I like to play in the Super Bowl and who I think is going to win it. And I still got to figure out my AFC team in the next 5 minutes. As well as I'll tell you who plays in the national championship. You're really going to get a kick out of this and who I think is going to win it as well. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Let me tell you about Travel by Stats. Travel by Stats delivers premium travel packages and provide excellence by focusing on assuring that their tour itinerary is clear. For destinations they've never taken, they even take the trip in advance of the actual one you're about to take. This ensures everybody has a great experience. They've been around since 1988 and have been operating here in Atlanta since 2000, starting from the ground up, but they now boast of a team operating in 5 states. Travel by Stats not only specializes in Caribbean destinations, they also provide a variety of reasonable, cost-efficient events by land, air, or sea. One of their big things is sports travel for football fanatics who live in Metro Atlanta. That's the fun way to go anyway. Here's some of their upcoming list of events. Giants at Cowboys, Falcons at Giants, Falcons at Cowboys, Cowboys at Saints, Patriots at Cowboys, and many, many more. Contact them at 855-266-6675, extension 700, for the owner, Maritza Wilmer. Again, that's 855-266-6675, extension 700. If you mention my name, Doug Stewart, you'll receive an extra 10% off your package. Travel by Stats. Where they don't sell travel, they sell fun. We're back. The 2 Live Stews are back on air every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on WGST. It's sports talk with hot sauce. Special thanks to our sponsor, Bruce Hagen, at Hagen-Law.com for making it happen.
640 WGST in Atlanta. Search 640 WGST on iHeartRadio worldwide.
Yes! Your season-long fantasy football lineup is locked in and ready for action, but you don't have to wait until Week 16 to get paid. Put your fantasy skills to the test starting Sunday at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site, where you could kick the season off by winning $2 million. It's the biggest fantasy football contest ever. $10 million in prizes are up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second. 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments. It's fantasy football on demand. Play where you want, when you want, with the players you want, and turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. Just pick your players, pile up the points, and pick up your cash. That's it. You've never experienced football like this. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play for free for a shot at part of $10 million in Sunday's Millionaire Maker event. Enter Spreaker for free entry now, only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Now Peter, Piper, pick peppers, but run rock, rhyme, Humpty, Dumpty, fell down. That's his art. Time, Jackie, nimble, what? Nimble, and he was quick, but jam, mass mud, faster Jacks on Jay's dick. Now little Bo Peep, Cole lost her sheep, and Rip Van with the
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Oh. Man, this is tough. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. It's that time of the show, that time of the year where I go on record, man, for the NFL and in college. I guess I should have done this last weekend in college, but oh well. A week has passed. No big deal. Last week everybody played cupcakes anyway, tomato cans or whatever. So we're gonna do that right now. Before I do that, though, shouts out to my folks, man. And if you need a security alarm system, man, holla at my folks at Strickland Security. They've been in business and have business knowledge of over 55 years in protecting your home, protecting your family, your wife, your kids while you're not there. They care about you. They could come in and try to sell you this souped-up alarm system. That's not how they work at Strickland Security. They can come in and just fix your security alarm system that you have, give you a basic alarm system, or they can give you the Big Daddy. Whatever that may be, it's whatever you need. They're going to try to accommodate you. There's been some crime issues in Atlanta over the last couple of weeks, man. You've seen it on the news. Don't wait. Don't wait until it's too late, man. Holla at my folks at StricklandSecurity.com. Once again, that's StricklandSecurity.com. Tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you, and you'll be happy that you did, all right? You will be happy that you did. All right, this is what I'm going to do. To give me a couple more minutes to talk about, why I feel like, or who I feel like is going to play for the AFC in the Super Bowl, I'm going to pass on talking about the NFL aspect of it right now, just for a second, okay? I'm going to go ahead and talk about these college teams, okay? Representing the Big Ten this year in the college football championship game is the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm just looking at them, man. I looked at their schedule. Man, and I looked at this team that they're bringing back and all the players. I talked about them a little bit earlier when we broke down, Ohio State and our preseason team rankings. They're just not going to be stopped. They just have too much talent. Even if they have injuries, they've got depth that are just going to make it virtually impossible for anybody to beat these guys for 4 consecutive quarters in a game. So I'm taking Ohio State to play in the national championship game again this year, okay? I'll tell you who I'd like to win it here in a second after I tell you who the other team is. Now, let me just say this for the record. This is a disclaimer. I'm trying to be different from everybody else. There's some obvious teams out there, and I could play it safe, and I usually in the past have played it safe, but I'm going to take a flyer this year on this team playing in the national championship game because of a lot of extenuating circumstances, okay, in which I'll describe here in a second. That being said, I like – boy, let me stop. Let me step back for a second. Do I really want to do this?
Are you okay?
Do I really want to do this? And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show.
You need some water? You got sweat beads on your forehead.
And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. This is big. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to play in the national championship game. Now, hold on for a second. Before you run up the road, hold the steering wheel. Before you run up the road, let me tell you what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking that it's going to be cannibalism in the SEC again this year. The best teams in college football, they're going to beat up on each other. So the SEC, I think, for another year is going to be eliminated from the national championship conversation. They may not even get one of the Final Four teams in the Final Four because, once again, they're going to beat up on each other. I looked at Georgia Tech last week. Not only did I look at them last week and how efficient and how fluid they were, and it was just against Alcorn State. I get that. That's really not the big thing here. If you look at the pieces and the talent that they have on that offense, you know about Justin Thomas coming back for the team this year. You know about Qua Cersei, who you saw last year, a redshirt freshman, I believe, looked phenomenal in this triple option offense. Patrick Skov, the running back, just looked phenomenal last week as well. They also bring in Marcus Marshall, which is Keith Marshall's little brother out of North Carolina. He looked phenomenal last week. They've got too many pieces on that offensive side of the ball running that triple option offense. Now remember, this is a team last year that held their own in the bowl game, in the ACC championship game against Florida State. Okay? They held their own. They should have won. Outside of that, outside of very disappointing loss during the regular season as well, Georgia Tech, I mean, they were right there. And here's the thing. If you look at their schedule this year, and for some reason the schedule for Georgia Tech is not popping up right now on my screen, oh, here it goes right here. They play Notre Dame in a couple of weeks. They play Notre Dame on the road. Now, if they get past Notre Dame, they should be fine. They have opportune games as well on the schedule this year when they take on Florida State and Clemson. Those are really kind of like the big hurdles that stand in their way. I don't think they're going to have any problem. It's the perfect storm. I'm taking a flyer. And also what I'm evaluating and putting into this equation is the fact that everybody and their mama, and I've been talking about this a lot over the last couple of weeks, everybody and their mama, okay, has been running that spread offense. And the fact that Georgia Tech doesn't run that spread offense, they run such a unique offense where it's really dominated by the run. Personnel for these college teams is lacking in the middle to stop the run. I'm talking linebackers and safeties. The personnel now for most of these college teams is geared to stop the pass, obviously, with all the spread that's being run. And so a team like Georgia Tech, when they roll into town, if you've only got a week to prepare, they're going to be tough to beat. And as proficient as Paul Johnson and that offense runs that triple option, man, I think it's going to be too much for them to handle. They have Georgia at home this year. They have Virginia Tech at home this year. They have Florida State at home this year. The only tough matchup on the road that they have is they go to Death Valley and take on the Clemson Tigers. Okay? So outside of that, all their tough games are going to be at Bobby Dodd Stadium. I like Ohio State and Georgia Tech to play in the national championship and Ohio State winning it again. There you have it. Okay, mark it down. I'm on record. Ohio State in the miracle story, the Cinderella story, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets play for the national championship this year, and Georgia Tech makes it to the championship and they lose to Ohio State. I know. But think about all the variables I just talked about. That triple option offense, spread offenses being run around the country. Georgia Tech has a favorable schedule. Last year, they dominated as well. They're going to be able to score. Can the defense step up and win some of these crucial games? And the games are versus Georgia, Florida State, and on the road at Clemson. So there you have it. My picks for the national championship game. In the NFL, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. In the NFL, as a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Give me about 5 more minutes. Give me about 5 more minutes to decide who I like in the AFC. How about that? Give me about 5 more minutes to do that, and when we get back from the break, we'll talk about my picks in the NFL. And then all I'm going to do for the entire next segment and the entire last segment of the show. Wow, this is the last segment coming up in the show. Damn it. All right, so we'll quickly talk about who I like to play in the Super Bowl this year and the winner, and then I'll finish up today's show by reading more chat. See, this is why we need 3 hours to the show, at least, because it's just too much great stuff to get into on the Doug Stewart Show. So we'll wrap up today's show coming up next. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. We're back. The Two Live Stews are back on air every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on WGST. It's sports talk with hot sauce. Special thanks to our sponsor, Bruce Hagen at Hagen-Law.com for making it happen.
640 WGST in Atlanta. Search 640 WGST on iHeartRadio worldwide.
Yes! In life, things happen, good and bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and #1 independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! Meet me at the club. It's going down. Meet me in the A. It's going down. Meet me in Atlanta. That's right. The weekend of September 26, 2015, we are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show, Stewies! And it's going to be crazy. We got a whole list of events scheduled for the entire weekend. That's going to be so fun. Come celebrate with your boy. Starting out Friday night, man, with a meet and greet party at the Artist Den downtown ATL. Late Friday night, it's the Fella Soiree at T's Gentlemen's Club in Buckhead. Saturday morning, the TDSS Golf Shootout at North Fulton Golf Club downtown ATL. Saturday night, the main event, the all-black party at the Doubletree Hotel in Buckhead. And Sunday, the Falcons versus Cowboys viewing/day party on the rooftop lounge at Mardi Gras Cafe downtown ATL. It's going to be fantastic, man. You've been looking for a reason to come to Atlanta. Here's your perfect reason. Get all the details at tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. Once again, it's tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. See you in Atlanta. The 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. All right. Let me go ahead and tell you who I like. Thank you so much for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. I'm seeing some of your chat, man, and I know a lot of you think that I'm an idiot, and that's fine. That's fine. I picked Georgia Tech to go to the national championship this year. That's fine. I get it. But my thinking was I wanted to take a flyer, and I took a flyer on Georgia Tech based on what they've done over the last couple of years. Their schedule is very generous to them. Outside of the game they take on, they go to Notre Dame. They also travel to Death Valley. They can get past Notre Dame in a couple of weeks. I think they can beat Clemson. I think Georgia Tech plays in the national championship. I could have said Alabama like everybody else, or Ohio State, which I did. I could have said Alabama, or I could have said Oregon or somebody like that, and you wouldn't have batted an eye. I know that. But we're risk takers around here. And so there you have it. My prognostication could come or go straight to hell in a couple of weeks, or I'm going to look like Negro Damas. Yes, sir. And I hope it's the latter. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Outside of a letdown last year against the Duke Blue Devils and in the national championship game, who else did Georgia Tech lose to last year? I think that was it. They lost to Duke, which was crazy, which was unbelievable. And I think that's it. They might have they lost to Florida State. They lost in Florida State in the ACC championship game as well. And so there you have it. All right, so for the NFL, man, I'm going to go from the NFC. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I thought they should have been there last year, as I talked about earlier when I talked about the Packers. So I got the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback in football. You know, a lot of times you got to crawl before you walk. You got to have some type of adversity. That's usually the way that it works. It's kind of like karma. Last year was tremendously traumatic for the Green Bay Packers. They signed James Jones back. They're going to miss Gordy Nelson big time, obviously, but I think Aaron Rodgers and that potent running attack with Eddie Lacy, speaking of Alabama, I think they get back and they make it to the next step, and they make it to the Super Bowl this year. And from the AFC, man, I'm not going to take a flyer like I did in college. I've been really struggling between three teams. That's the Steelers, the Colts, and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go ahead and take the Indianapolis Colts, man, to make it to the Super Bowl this year. Once again, this is usually how these things happen. Last year, fell a little bit short, got cheated to the highest end of cheativity by the New England Patriots. This year, they take that one extra step. Everybody and their mama is talking about Andrew Luck being one of the greatest players to ever play the game, not just quarterbacks, but players. And if that's the case, then this is the maturation of that process. I think the Indianapolis Colts, they've loaded up with talent on the offensive side of the ball. Frank Gore, does he have anything left in the tank? I think he does. I think Frank Gore is going to be one of those situations where he's going to hit a wall. I think maybe one more year, maybe 2 more years, he still has it. He's Frank Gore of old. He's 90% of that Frank Gore. And then maybe next year or maybe the year after that, he just hits a wall and he's just done. But not this year. I think Frank Gore is going to give him a lot in that running game. Andre Johnson coming over from the Houston Texans. They still got T.Y. Hilton. They got the best quarterback, or one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the game, a lot of people will tell you. I think the Colts, if they can find a way to make some plays defensively, and that's what it's all about, if they can find a way to make some plays defensively, I think the Indianapolis Colts make it to the Super Bowl this year, man. So there you have it. You got Colts versus Packers. And I like the Packers to win it all. I said the Colts would make it. I didn't say they were going to win it. Give me the Packers winning it all this year in the Super Bowl. So write it down, document it. I got Packers versus Colts, and I got Ohio State versus Georgia Tech, and I got the Buckeyes winning it again. I know. And I got the Packers winning a second Super Bowl under supervision by their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. There you have it. There you have it. Let me read more of your chat, man. From, who do we got here? From Clay Davis' Sheed Advisor, boycott the Patriots and Sal's. Man, as good as that piece is, I ain't boycotting ish. As good as the NFL is, no way, baby. From Grego, sing something for the Super Bowl champs taking the field tonight. Oh, my gosh. Like R. Kelly's hook on Best of Both Worlds. Not guilty. So Grego obviously is a New England Patriots fan. Grego, if I were you, bruh, all I'm saying is just watch the company that you keep. If you cheat, you will lie. If you lie, you will steal. If you steal, you will kill. As the old people say. Are you a killer, Grego? That's what this says. From Encyclopedia Brown, Peyton would have another Super Bowl if it weren't for those cheating bastards. From G Wizard, the last 2 weeks without singing has been the worst ever, Doug. Your shows are good, but it's so much better when you sing. Well, thank you, G Wizard. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. From KC, he says, Floyd Mayweather should take reading lessons from Doug. He can read good. Floyd can't. From Lamont Hart, the national championship game will be Ohio State versus USC, the Rio one in Cali. Yeah, whatever. You do know that the University of South Carolina was founded before the University of Southern California, right? You do know that, right? So the USC, the real USC is in Columbia. From Ronald Cameron, let me be clear. I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan. I believe he's the greatest defensive fighter and one of the top 12 best fighters of all time. But again, I need to do some more research on this. From Nino the Rhino, Tyler Lockett may do something too. Wilson has some weapons, so he should put up numbers. From Brother Babe, the Shadow Ninja. What? Jimmy Graham may go nuts in Seattle's offense. Yeah. He may go crazy. Jimmy Graham with Seattle's offense. And the fact that Russell Wilson is a guy that really has gone to the tight end a lot over the last couple of years. They really haven't depended a lot on wide receivers to the degree of a lot of other teams. Yeah. From Ronald Cameron, easy, Doug, laugh out loud, dissing the Midwest again. But with that said, you speak the truth. What was I talking about the Midwest? And he thought that I was dissing the Midwest. I wasn't dissing the Midwest. My wife is from the Midwest. I got ties to the Midwest now. You know, from Ronald Cameron, easy, Doug, laugh out loud, dissing the Midwest. I already read that one. What do we got here? And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Clay Davis' Sheed Advisor, BPA to the New York Police Department again for beating up brothers again. From Grego, football is back. Let's go, Pats. Whatever. Cheating bastards. You remember that movie? Was it Johnny Lately? This was a movie back in the 70s. And there was a scene in that movie. I can't even remember what the damn movie was about, but I always remember when they showed it on network TV, and he was talking to somebody. He kept saying, he wanted to say the street vernacular term, that's the F and ends with a K, and then he wanted to say bastards. And bastards, more than one bastard. He's like, you fargin' bastages. You fargin' bastages. So, whatever. From Vince Wright, so ready for AP to bust loose on Monday night. I think the Vikings will make a run for 11 wins. Yeah, very interesting, man. AP has been out. Adrian Peterson has been out of football the past year for the most part. And he was the number one fantasy draft pick this year in the draft on Yahoo. And that says a lot. You know, people are expecting, we kind of subliminally, I think, subconsciously are thinking that Adrian Peterson is going to have another one of those years like he had after he tore his ACL, where he rushed for over 2,000 yards, which was crazy. It was unbelievable that man would do that after coming back from injury, but he did it. So he's a special type ninja. I mean, he ain't your average everyday run-of-the-mill ninja. Let me tell you that. So people, the experts even, are expecting a huge year from Adrian Peterson. I hope so, man. Praise God. Bless him. Hopefully he comes back healthy and ready to go, man. I'm rooting for that brother. I am. Because I definitely thought that the whole domestic abuse case against him and his child, I think that thing was blown way out of proportion. Whether you believe one way or the other, I think the whole story, based on what we know about the story, was blown way out of proportion, man. And so I'm hoping good things for Adrian Peterson this year. I'm hoping health for Adrian Peterson this year as well. Yeah. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right, so once again, I'm on the record. Ohio State versus Georgia Tech. I know you're scratching your head at that one. I'm pretty sure I'm probably the only person in America that's picking Georgia Tech to play in the national championship game, but I'm going to go with it. And then I got the Packers taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Ohio State wins it all, and the Green Bay Packers hoist the Lombardi Trophy again for the second time in Aaron Rodgers' career in 2015 and the 2016 season. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! There you have it, baby! Thank you so much for joining me today on the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to all of the Stewies out there, man. Thank you. Once again, I really do appreciate the love. Pass the word. I need you to tell at least one person about the Doug Stewart Show. I'm telling you, you'd be glad you did, all right? Also, check me out on Fiverr.com. If you'd like for me or Tree to do a voiceover for you, if you'd like to advertise on the Doug Stewart Show, if you'd like to even broadcast or have us broadcast your podcast on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, we can do that. Check me out on Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr.com, and just search the Doug Stewart Show. Get your Doug Stewart Show t-shirt at thedougstewartshow.com. Donate $20 or more, and we'll send you this real nice t-shirt, collector's item. You don't want to miss out on that. That's thedougstewartshow.com, as well as all the other things we got going on, man, on the weekend of September 26th, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show. Get all the details at tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. Once again, that's tdssweekend.eventbrite.com. Come on to Atlanta, man. Let's have a good time. All right, shouts out to the Tree of Life, the producer to the show, Waterhead Walter, Dwayne Vasson, Gerald Oliveri. Thank you. Without no y'all, there'd be no me. Yeah. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Right out to this fat-ass corn, beans and cornbread track, Pink Gator. All right, we'll do it tomorrow. The Doug Stewart Show. Peace!